Hi, welcome to Vulcan Video Views. I'm Brian Miller.
I'm Ron Oster.
And we're going to be doing some Halloween movies this week.
We're going to talk about our top underrated, not just horror films, but suspense and thrillers too, because everyone talks about the greats like Psycho and Shining, all the great horror films like The Exorcist and Jerry Maguire, and we don't really want to talk about those. So we're going to talk about our favorite underrated movies that we think are great that no one ever talks about popping in at Halloween.
So stay tuned. You probably will, because you're probably our family.
A lot of family members watching this. That's it. All right, so my first pick here is The Innocents from 1961.
There has never been a ghost story created especially for the adult moviegoer until The Innocents.
It was actually written by Truman Capote and directed by Jack Clayton. It's the kind of movie that's like, it's a good horror movie for people who don't like horror movies. You know, because there's no stinger moments where the cat jumps out and the violins screech and then a guy with a machete whips out and chops the person's head off. There's no blood, there's no guts, there's no profanity.
Suspense then.
It's just a good suspense film. It's a good, creepy suspense film about a lady that goes to be the caretaker to a mansion with two rich kids in it. And creepiness ensues when the old caretaker, who they really liked, is a ghost that starts haunting her. And what better way to make a creepy movie than to have snotty-nosed little brats talking about murder?
Shall I tell you who taught them to you?
I won't ever again, I promise.
Shall I tell you who taught you? The things you've done, the things you've said? Shall I tell you his name?
It's inspired a lot of great films, like it was a big influence to the Nicole Kidman film The Others, which is also a really good horror film, and the upcoming Crimson Peak. It's coming out in a couple weeks, I think. Big inspiration, all of them, but I don't ever hear a lot of people talking about The Innocents, and I didn't even know it existed until a year ago. I just randomly bought it because it looked cool. See, looks cool. And it's really creepy, it's unnerving, it's involving, and it's not ever overly scary, but for the kind of Halloween movie where you just light some candles in the dark and you get a little bit creeped out and unnerved, I think it is a solid flick and worth checking out.
I just hear myself.
It's getting
I'm so sorry. Get.
You want a baby?
No.
When you said
But you didn't
sick,
offer. I'm just telling you, you're not.
When you said you're sick,
you're not a very good host.
I'm so sorry. A new and adult motion picture experience.
So what's one of your picks?
I'm gonna go. My first pick will be Frailty.
They were raised to obey their father,
Go do some homework.
to love him, to trust him,
Night, boys. Sleep tight.
Don't let those bed bugs bite.
until
Wake up. I've got something to tell you.
What's wrong?
Frailty follows the story of. It's kind of two stories running side by side. One is Matthew McConaughey with a police investigator talking about how he knows who this killer is. And then it shows flashbacks also, which is a big chunk of the movie, of his dad, Bill Paxton, who gets a message from an angel basically telling him he now has the power to tell where demons are on Earth and
Chop them with an axe.
to kill them with an axe, basically.
Nothing that crazy could be real.
The angel told me that God would be sending weapons.
Maybe you just dreamed it. Maybe you're not right in the head.
God will be sending a list of the first 7 demons.
These are people's names.
This one is I like this one because unlike a lot of horror movies, it's not really a horror movie, I guess. This one's a bit more suspenseful, but this one has a really good story with it too. Keeps you involved for the whole thing, which I don't find a lot in creepy movies. Sometimes creepy movies just have those just creepy moments where you're like, ooh, that was scary. So this movie doesn't have just creepy moments. It's a whole package deal. I don't particularly like Matthew McConaughey, but he's really good in this movie.
Yeah, that was like his first kind of I'm not just a surfer guy that takes my shirt off kind of role. It's one of his first serious things.
He's really good in it. I don't know. Great movie to check out.
Mhm.
Find that not a lot of people have seen this. I've seen it a few times. Love it every single
always
time.
good.
So,
Yeah.
good rewatcher.
Tell me the truth.
Sometimes truth defies reason.
You're crazy!
Only demons should fear me. You're not a demon, are you?
So, Riley, what's your next pick?
My next pick for underrated horror film, though kind of cheating. All the Nightmare on Elm Street sequels.
All 7 films from the original Nightmare.
Just the sequel.
Just the sequels,
Just to be
because
clear.
the first one everyone has either seen and knows it's a classic,
Yeah.
or you've just heard that it's a classic horror film. But the sequels obviously are not as highly regarded.
No, and
because
that's what I was gonna say. I've never seen the sequels because I've heard that
they suck.
they follow the sequel rule of being garbage.
Yeah, no, these are absolutely garbage, but they're so funny.
They're fun garbage.
They're so much fun garbage. And it's not like, not like horrible, really bad sequels of horror films like Friday the 13th or Land Before Time where they just all suck.
Okay.
These are like, they're trying to do new things every time, right?
Freddy's home.
Wake up!
In the sequels, obviously they have to keep one-upping themselves so that the deaths get more and more outlandish, but they're also more and more creative.
Like, would you say these are actually creepy movies, or these are kind of a fun one to watch with your friends
Well,
on a Halloween night kind of
that's
movie?
just it. Like, these are friends' Halloween night kind of movies because even they started realizing they're not scary anymore.
Yeah.
So they started becoming more and more funny. So Freddy not only is doing more jokes and the gore is getting more and more over the top, like a kid gets swallowed up by his waterbed, and it's just they get ridiculous, right? But also by the last one, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, they go meta and they're on the film set of the new Nightmare on Elm Street movie. And the actor starts seeing Freddy in real life attacking him, and it has the real actor and real director of these movies getting attacked by Freddy. It's just hilarious and ridiculous. So yeah, like, are they actually scary Halloween films? No, they're not. They're not scary. But if you want to just have some friends over, with some candy and some drinks, and you just watch a couple hilariously gory, over-the-top, cheesy movies, the sequels are just fantastic. If it's I think $25 at Walmart for the whole set of all 7 films.
Not worth it. Download it.
Don't illegally download things unless you have to or are broke, or we tell you to. So
The complete Nightmare on Elm Street collection on Blu-ray.
So, what's your next flick?
My next pick is a little movie called The Descent.
Great film.
Juno, are you sure we're going the right way?
I've never been lost in my life.
There's only one way out of this chamber, and that's down the pipe.
So The Descent follows this group of friends down into the caves where they meet some scary things. I don't want to give too much away, but this movie, it's one of my favorite kind of scary movies. I would classify it as slightly horror, suspenseful. I don't know, it has a little bit of everything. It's just a fun kind of low budget movie, but it doesn't feel super low budget. The girls go down, and maybe not all of them come back up. People die.
People definitely
in
die
this
in that
movie.
film, yes.
But
Well, and that's why I kind of like it, because you're saying it's a mix of suspense and horror, and that's what's funny is that the first hour is only suspense.
But,
where
and
they're
it's-
trapped in the caves, and it's really creepy, claustrophobic, and then an hour into it, the monsters show up.
It's also
and
it's also like a
monstrous.
psychological thriller
Yeah.
kind of movie. There's some deeper hidden messages in this movie if you really want to dig down. So it's great. Directed by a woman.
Nope. Sure wasn't. Someone's IMDb research failed you slightly there.
It must not.
You're just a total swing in the dark there.
Because I was trying to read it while I was doing it. I started to do it on the fly. Who directed it?
That's hilarious. Neil Jordan. Very British man. Super duper man.
Directed by David Attenborough. Like, it's not talked about, but it's also a full, like, female cast.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which doesn't happen a ton in any kind of movie, and especially just like the horror kind of genre. I really like that. I thought all of the actresses were great in this movie.
Yeah. None of them were like the bimbo running around.
No, they were all just. It was a not insulting movie because they didn't write them as a female. They just wrote them as people, and they just played their parts well.
Shocking.
I don't know. I thought it was a great example of how you don't have to just have your stereotypes. Definitely not a family horror movie.
No.
Let's say there's some blood and some gore in it, but just.
Can you believe I'm engaged? Oh,
I can't believe I'm married sometimes.
Oh man.
So the last movie that we want to recommend, both of us, we've seen it a couple times ourselves.
It's my favorite film of all time.
One of my favorite suspense kind of thriller. Got a nice drama to it.
It's got
really
everything.
Feel the emotion through this movie.
It's a masterpiece.
Yeah. Not to put too fine a point on it.
Flawless.
We actually have a poster of it.
Yeah, let's just do the poster instead of the.
Do the old reveal here.
Oh Jesus.
Oh! What's this?
Oh, it's called Enclosed.
Who directed that?
Oh, us.
So Riley, tell us a little bit about Enclosed again.
Also called the movie of the year by none other than Gene Shalit.
Wow. That's high praise.
Enclosed follows a man with agoraphobia who cannot leave his apartment and hasn't left it for 12 years, and then he hears his neighbor possibly commit a murder. And so then it's kind of like, how can you escape and flee your room to go prove a murder or run away from a murderer when you're physically have agoraphobia and you can't leave your room? Great acting. We got someone. We got David Alexander Parent from Regina,
and we also got a local gal,
yeah.
Lindsay Markert, played his daughter and did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
So, if not for us local boys,
support Lindsay.
Check it out for her.
What was your favorite part of Enclosed? Dare I ask?
My favorite part would have to be the whole bleeping thing.
Me too.
I loved it.
Agreed.
I loved it. I've seen it maybe 90 times because I also did a lot of editing over several years.
Several years. We know every line by heart, even the ones we hate.
Hopefully you like it. You're going to be able to see it on vTV pretty soon, we're hoping.
To the vTV Independent Film Channel. And buy it to watch and own and love forever. Only $1,000 a viewing, which I think is reasonable for the amount of time.
We came a little bit down in price because local discount.
We're in the money. We're in the money.
It could be a good little creepy Halloween sort of flick for people that really want to support super low budget filmmaking, since this film cost about as much as this bowl of candy.
Yeah.
That's not an exaggeration. I think this actually
traded
cost
in pop cans to finance this movie.
Oh god, we did too. That's why it looks like balls.
You can trust me.
This room is my safety.